Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Now in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to rhythm chop with dubstep music, with rhythm music, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be teaching you basically the whole technique behind it, what you want to be looking for, what kind of rhythm you want to be getting, and just kind of letting you guys see what it's like to mix the kind of music so you guys can do it on your own. Before we get into this tutorial, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you guys want one-on-one DJ lessons with me, make sure you check the link down below and book a time with me. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. The two tracks that I'm going to be using, one is Phase 1 Insanity, and the other one is Datsik and Virtual Riot Warriors of the Night. Yeah, so just the original. Now, the Datsik track is at 150 BPM, and the Phase 1 track is at 75 BPM, so mixing it, we wouldn't have to change the BPM because 150 and 75 work perfectly with each other. The same would go for like 70 and 140, or 75 and 150, 80 and 160. So it's just the half time and the double time of whatever you're mixing. So anyways, we have the two tracks ready. So I'm gonna be going from the build-up of the Datsik and Virtual Riot and basically aligning the build-ups of the Phase 1 Insanity, mixing it, and then starting to rhythm chop in the drop. So I have my cue points set at the build-ups. If you guys haven't checked out my video on where to set cue points, make sure to check it out either up in the corner or down in the description. But check that video out. I teach you guys all about where to set your cue points for different kind of tracks. But, so I have my cue points set at whatever points I need it to be at. And so I have my cue set at the build-up. And this is what the drop sounds like. And then, so I'm also going to be using the Virtual Riot track, which it sounds like this. Yeah, so you guys get the gist. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys quickly one time, then I'm going to go over it another time, and then we're just going to be talking the technique and those sorts of things. So, let's get right into this. So,
his name when he wades into battle. The ninja works inside. Warriors of the night.
that was pretty much the method. What you guys saw me do there was just kind of a little bit of creative rhythm chopping. All you basically do is you have the two tracks aligned, and so while they're playing, you literally just swap the volume faders. So the technique behind it is obviously having them aligned, having them both start at the drop, so you know both of the drops are playing at the exact same time. Have them both at the same BPM so that one track isn't going faster or slower than the other, so that they're both on time. And then also having the two tracks have a similar rhythm and a similar key obviously to them, and just kind of similar sounding. So you don't want to have two tracks at two different keys, or one that is, let's say, more of a melodic dubstep versus a rhythm. You can't really mix those together, it won't sound great. You need to have two tracks that kind of have the same vibe to it. So these are two perfect examples. Any artists that are like Phase 1, Virtual Riot, those kinds of artists, those are super great, and they put out kind of the same sort of dubstep rhythm tracks. You can find a lot of their music on Disciple Records. So if you guys want to check out more music like that, check out Disciple Records on YouTube or SoundCloud or Spotify, wherever you are. But yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I'm just mixing one beat sections of each of the tracks. So I let one beat play of my phase 1 Insanity track, and then for the next beat over, so after the kick hits, I switch it to the virtual Riot track, and then I switch back and keep on doing that for basically how long I want. I could go double time, but those are for, you know, different sounding tracks, ones that maybe have a little bit of a faster rhythm to it. It's great to have some moments, so where the 4-bar fills are usually, so after eight bars of the drop, there's usually a 4-beat fill, and you want to kind of choose either one or the other track to play kind of that fill, so you don't go from different vocals. So there is kind of a bit of a technique to it. So just an example of what that would look like is kind of
where the ninja had been, there's darkness.
So as you guys heard, that kind of vocal, if I was mixing, he would have said like in the ninja, and then it would switch to some sort of like sound or, you know, snare, and it wouldn't sound really good. So you gotta make sure that you're mixing only in those 8 bars of the drop, and then in the next 8 bars if you want to continue at that point. I'm just gonna be talking over the whole process with you guys. I'm gonna turn it down a bit softer, but we're just gonna be going over what the whole technique is like and what's going on in my head while I'm doing it. So obviously when I'm starting to cue the second track in the build up, I have it set to a cue point, which is at the build up, and then I have my headphones ready. I have my cue set to channel 1 so I can hear the second track coming in.
Ninja works. Warriors of the night.
Alright, so that was kind of the whole kind of gist behind it. It literally just takes practice and practicing the rhythm. You have to be very confident in your ability to switch the volume faders. So you can't be kind of like sliding them up and down. You really have to be getting the timing right and flipping them at the right times, because if you still have a bit of a track playing when you're kind of putting down the volume fader, it's not going to sound great. You have to be really confident and certain in your whole rhythm chopping routine, just because, you know, it's such a precise kind of technique that you're going to be using, and because your window of switching the beats is so small, because you have to switch it right before that next kick hits, because if you're a little bit late, you're gonna switch it after the kick, and it's just gonna sound like there's no punch to it. You're gonna be messing up the rhythm of the track, and it's just gonna be a little bit off. So you have to really make sure that you're switching it really confidently and really quickly and getting it aligned to the beat, so that once the beat hits, you're waiting for maybe 75% of that one beat, and you're already switching into the next one, because you want to stay on track, on tempo, keep the rhythm going, and not miss any beats. So this is really like the whole idea behind it. So having tracks that work together, they're at the same BPM, just being creative with your rhythm chopping, but also being really confident in your ability to switch the volume faders and have a rhythm going. So those are the main things behind this whole kind of idea. I'll leave the link to the tracks down below so you guys can check them out. You guys can practice with these tracks as well. If you guys want more tutorials on rhythm chopping or something more in depth or different kind of tracks, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Again, if you want one-on-one DJing lessons with me, make sure to check out the link below and book a time with me. But other than that, like, subscribe, share, comment, and can't wait for you guys to see the rest of the tutorials and all the other tutorials that I have coming out in the coming weeks and months for you guys. But yeah, make sure you guys leave a comment on, you know, what kind of music or what kind of tutorials you guys want to see next. But yeah, peace.